everybody, it's Bray time.
It's Bray time.
It's Bray time. I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions. If you haven't sent them, send them now.
So Mo does not have a tick in her eye.
No.
So beef, rice, but food. Yeah. Okay, it works for me.
Oh yeah, that. Yep.
Somebody tried to get me to worry about that.
I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions. If you
Or you
if you
gotta turn the
haven't
sign off.
sent them,
Top.
send them now. Where's
Top.
the top?
So Mo does not
Up,
have a tick
up,
in her eye.
up, aha.
No.
This way.
Oh,
Right
there.
there it is, down.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not used to your computer. Let's see. Hi, everybody. So I'm just going to go ahead and address Mo's watery eye issue. It is a watery eye, and we looked at it. I actually, Haley was walking by. I said, "Will you peek at it too?" She did, and she found a shaving that was embedded in her eyelashes. So she took it out, and I wiped her face a few times, and then I went home and I came back and it's dry. So it looks like it was just something in her eye. That's my guess.
Wow, that's unusual, but that's what the tear is for, is to wash out whatever.
Yeah, she had frozen tear all the way down her face when I got here this morning.
Oh, dear.
It looked sad. It looked really sad. Like, oh, you poor little frozen baby. But
Sometimes something gets blocked. And I think, if I remember correctly, they run some sort of weird thing up the nose and pump in water till it comes out the eye.
well,
Very
hopefully it's remedied.
Yeah.
It looked better now than, and I think tomorrow will be the tell.
Not squirting, we don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was watering before and it's not watering now. But like she was blinking it a little bit too, like it was a little bit more closed. And since Haley found that shaving in her eyelashes, it seemed better. But her hair loss thing, there are scabs there, and she's scratching it like crazy. So that is what it is. I put some Listerine on it. Yeah. Dry skin, yeah. I put some Listerine. I put Listerine on it. It's kind of like what the Greeks say, with Windex. Anything that I see skin, I just put some Listerine on it and see if it works.
You're right on that one.
It's innocuous.
Maybe that's the word I was looking for a long time ago when I was trying to describe if somebody put something on a dog's chin. They get pustules, from eating. And for a while there, we'd wipe off their chin with Listerine. Hello.
Hi.
You were here already.
Yes, I was.
Oh, he's looking at you like you're new.
Oh.
Okay. He's been here
If I
already.
was new,
Hi, Joan.
she'd be barking. He'd be barking.
I'm looking to see if there are any questions here. Nope, I don't have any questions, so it's not going to be a very long
How do they
break.
like their footing? The mat's in there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell them all about that. So yesterday, I think even Haley had touched on the refresh of the stalls flooring. It's amazing. I love it. She said that some people that muck the stalls don't like it. I don't know why they don't like it. I think it's perfect. I think it's better than peanut butter. And the mats are keeping, you'll notice, I'm sure you've noticed because you watch more than I do, that they're laying down to sleep on it now because the rubber mats make the stalls warmer. So they're warmer, they're cozier. Yep, I was reading the benefits online of the rubber mats, how to install them, all that.
Really?
Because, the day that I was waiting for the day for them to install so I could come help. And they did it on a Tuesday. I was off, and I was alerted that they were putting them in upside down. So I called Haley. I said, tell them to stop whatever they're doing. I'm on my way. So I jumped in my car and I came, and
This is Wade that's putting them in. There's no
I
way.
wasn't going to say anything.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not throwing him under the bus.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So anyway, the mats themselves have like a little dimple, like a little round texture on the top. And then the bottom is channels. So it's lines, grooves. So you put it channel side down, and so fluid is going to pass under the mats instead of having a propensity to go over the top of the mat and make for a slick surface. I think it's pretty brilliant. I'm thrilled to have them. We had one casualty, but it was Flossie's own fault. I was petting, no, Flossie was behind me. Somebody came into the barn and she interjected with some little donkey kicks saying, she's mine, don't go near her. And she slipped. And that was when it was all brand new and we haven't had any other slips. And it wasn't even a bad one. It was just an, oh, what happened? But she's fine. As are the mats. The mats are amazing. I think it's the best thing ever. And what's really funny is that last year they put sand down. Carlene would have to answer the question, did you bring the sand up as high as you
Yep.
did this?
Yep.
So
So you've shoveled it out.
that's what I was going to say, in 1 year we shoveled out 13 inches of sand.
Well, 40 tons.
Right.
That's
We shoveled 40 tons. I should have much larger muscles. But so we're not going to lose sandstone or the stone dust. We're not going to lose it. We're actually working far more efficiently. I think we're using more shavings than we need to, but all of us.
I know you are, because the manure pile is too light.
Well, when we first put the mats down, we needed extra shavings. But now I think everybody, if they see any sort of mat coming through, they feel like they've got to absolutely douse it with shavings, and we don't. We don't need to do that.
You could have all the shavings in there you want. You could put in shavings that deep.
And you're still going to see mat.
No, it's what you take out. So when you lift up the poopies and you shake them off, so that you just have brown poopies in it, that's what you go through in the manure pile.
Yep.
But
Do you
don't
ever
put
watch
the
me
shaving-
muck?
No.
You watch me muck and then come critique.
Well, I watch the manure pile. You know, it's not only you.
I
Great.
shake about 500
Oh,
times.
there you are. That's good.
I muck like a mucker.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's okay. You got some people down there that aren't mucking like muckers,
yeah.
because you just have to look at the manure pile.
And the two new people that are
But
volunteers,
they're volunteering.
so am I.
Yep.
And the two new volunteers, I explained to them, which was never said to me, that it is a commodity. You can actually sell muck piles if there's enough poop in it. And so that gave them an understanding that they really need to go for poop.
And you never put soda cans or coffee cans in the manure pile.
Who does that?
People, dumb people, other places. I've never seen it. 10 years ago I would, but I don't see it now.
No, I've never found any.
But I do once in a while find a hay string.
That's bad.
That's bad. That's bad, because at this place where they take the manure and they grind it up, and you get a hay string in the middle of the grinder, that's not a good thing.
No.
It doesn't like that.
No, I haven't found any hay strings in the stalls at all.
It's funny, when I churn up the pile out here, which I do like twice a year, I'll find a pink, and it's pink. We don't have pink anymore.
No, it's
so
blue.
It's old.
Yeah, it's old.
The pink is old string.
It was pre-Tracy days. Let's
That's
just
pre-Tracy.
put that on the
Blue.
record.
You need blue hay string.
Yeah, blue hay string you can...
You could go around the property and tell how long a piece of hay string's been up on holding up the fence. That's when I put up the fence with the hay string.
That's kind of funny.
It still is. If it's pink, it's got to be 20 years old.
Is there a reason that they change the color? Do they
No.
do it from one year to the next so they know
No.
what...
No, the only change in what holds the bale together gets to be the price of the bale. And you can have the brown string cord stuff. Those are the cheaper bales because they don't have it packed as tight. And then there's the hay string that we have is sort of a generic bale. And then there's wire bales, and then there's 3 wire bales that you can't even pick up. It'll be 75 pounds or something.
Wow.
The people who sell hay by the bale usually buy it by the pound. So when you say I'm buying 10 bales of hay, you got to know what those bales weigh.
Well, it should be... Yeah, it should... Well, does it depend on when it's cut to, if it's green or if it's...
Oh, you don't want it green.
You don't?
Oh, no. You set fire to the barn. It's got to be dry, brown.
I thought if it was... I thought the fresher it was, the more green hue it had to it.
Well, no,
No?
you don't want to use that word green around hay too often.
Mm.
Because green hay to me is really awfully gray green. I mean, there is brown, and then there's sort of nice hay. But,
Well, my grandparents always had alfalfa. That's what they used.
yeah, well, that's a different story. We use Timothy mostly. I buy the alfalfa in cubes because alfalfa, they get too damn fat too quick.
Yeah, I was putting a little of the cubes
Oh,
in Moe's, but somebody said that I should be wetting it.
you can, but if you're not putting a whole lot of it in, she'll pick it over.
Yeah, I'd only put a little.
Yeah, you can wet it if you like. You can wet the hay. There are some people in racehorse theories, etc. They have a watering can, water the hay, and they'd have it on the ground. They would never have it up.
Mhm.
But up, you got dust coming into the nose.
Ah, that
See,
makes
they
sense.
They should be eating down, but they're not going to eat down around here because they just walk in it. And it gets expensive.
Right. Now the only downside to the new floor is they did a fabulous job. Whoever did it, you know who did it. They did a fabulous job. Except they didn't put grooves for the barn doors, so we had to dig those out. We had to dig channels so the barn doors would open and close. And they brought it up so high that the gate doesn't close, so I had Wade have to raise it 3 inches.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you were going to have to dig out the floor, and it's like, no, we're not digging out flooring. It's easier to loosen a few screws, but it's amazing, and it looks great. You can actually see into the stalls walking down the breezeway, which is nice. Everybody is like astounded at how big Mo is now, and I'm like, she was big before, but she was, a foot deeper.
Oh, you get enough food to her. You feed when you get in there in the morning, right? You give her a scoop or two.
I give her 2. You told me to give her 2, so I started giving her 2, and then
What
today I
happened?
even gave her another half when I was in there just now.
That's a good idea. Give her another scoop when you leave, because you got a couple hours between the two.
Right.
You could give her another food.
Is she looking really thin to you?
No, but she's not round either. An old horse, you got to watch it.
Okay.
It's hard to put weight on an older horse.
Oh, I wish I was an old horse.
I don't have that problem myself.
Yeah, I don't personally have that problem either. And maybe I keep looking, I don't see any belly movement. I look at her, she has the same amount of udder that she had the day she got here. So she's got like a little paunch with some little udders, and then I'm like trying to look at Harley to compare. And Harley still has bags. She still has a bag of milk. So she doesn't. So, I mean, I'm looking, I'm checking. I don't see belly movement. I don't see a difference, but it doesn't look like it's dried up, and it doesn't look like it's gotten bigger. So I don't know. I don't know about maybe.
If it starts dripping on her back ankles, then you worry.
Then we'll need to close her off and have her in her own little area. I keep looking, and because everybody wants to know, what we're seeing. And I think even Janine posted on Explorer, asked the camera people to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And then Lee got a picture of her where you could really see what she has down there. But it looks the same. I don't see any differences.
And the other thing is, if you can see it between her back legs when she swishes her tail, that's kind of significant, because otherwise I bet you can't see it there now. It's funny, when it really gets full, it's almost square underneath her tail.
You really can see hers more than you can Harley's or anybody else's.
But when it gets really big, it's a squared off thing behind her tail.
Yeah, okay, so how does somebody who's already had a foal, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
when do their udders go back into place?
Ask Chaos. I'm still working on it.
Oh, chaos. Linda's protesting. So I'm trying to, I don't really know what it would look like
If she was milking.
if she had milk
I'm telling you, you could see
3
it.
months ago.
Well,
How long has she been here? A month? How long would it take for her to dry out if she?
she dries. I mean, I don't think she has any milk anymore.
But would her
It
nip?
takes a while for that stuff to go away.
So it's still very inconclusive. There's no.
Yeah.
Here's the 2 things I'm looking for when I look at her, And I look at her every day that I'm here, which is 4 or 5 days a week. I'm looking for belly movement and symmetry. And I don't see a lack of symmetry, which everything I read online says that's how you really know, because when they're carrying, they are not symmetrical because
I never heard of that.
no,
No,
look it up.
maybe I didn't. Well, I didn't read anything on that damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just, I was looking for. It's funny. It's like one
I
of
mean,
those.
when it's moving around, yeah, you get lopsided or something. You can with the dogs.
I imagine when it's getting towards the end, it would
Yeah,
lack symmetry, perhaps.
It could once in a while, just as it kind of moves around.
Yeah.
But I've never seen one be lopsided.
Well, it was one of those. It was this website where they were like, it's the age-old question: is she or isn't she? And so they were like, here's some ways you can kind of tell, but you can't tell till you tell. Till they, yeah. And they said the same thing that you said. When they start dripping milk, you know it's coming.
Yep.
And so really, it's so hard to be conclusive without, blood tests and all of that. And even that, when we did didn't we do blood tests on somebody and
She was not pregnant.
but she was, because she'd had a baby so recently that
She looked like she was or something.
yeah, I thought that somebody even tested positive because they still had the hormones, and that because they'd so recently had a foal. And
If it's recently had a foal, they would have had a foal here, and then we would have seen it.
right, yeah. No, this is somebody before my time.
No.
I heard some story about
We'll
that.
hear all kinds of stories
Oh yeah.
on all kinds of topics.
So let me see if there's any questions. Yeah, here's that picture. Can you see this, Carlene?
Unless she's just standing crooked. Oh, I see. Her nipple's showing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's got to get full up higher so that there is a squared. That doesn't look like a.
Yeah, she doesn't look full in person. I mean, it's not a great picture, but
It's a pretty good picture because I
a
don't
little
know if I've ever
blurry.
seen a picture like that. But her legs are kind of apart, so you can see.
yeah. Hers are, I don't know why hers are more visible than,
Well, she's got a white belly for you to take that angle.
yeah, that makes sense.
Usually it's pretty dark under there. But see, it would fill. What I'm talking about is it would fill up to square off in this area, so it
Uh-huh.
would really be bulging.
So it would actually come back this way somewhat?
Yeah, you can see it much better. And
I see. Okay, and somebody asked if I can take pictures week to week.
so don't get behind her, she'll kick.
Yeah. It's not always easy to get
Wait till
a
she
good
gets
angle.
ready. She hasn't been around very long.
Oh, thank you for saying I have a nice voice. Let's see. What in the world did you do with all that sand you dug out? Well, apparently we put it in the muck pile. I think Flossie remembers her fall. I noticed she will paw at it in the evening, but she is also a brat then too. They all seem to paw at it a little bit. There's I'll walk into the stall and you can tell where somebody's been doing a little this, that, and the other things. Oh, that's funny. Blue hay strings before Tracy era. Actually, we're currently blue. So, it would be PHS or something like that. Who are the new volunteers? There's a girl named Heather. She actually works for Angel Flight. I was telling Carlene about it. They're the ones where pilots volunteer their time to fly people for medical procedures and stuff like that. And here's the sad thing. She says that their pool of pilots is really drying up. They can't get very many to volunteer. It's getting harder and harder for them to find people that'll actually step up and on their free
How many
time.
planes do they fly for the Angels?
I don't know. I'll ask her. She's going to be here Saturday, and I said I would come by.
Yeah, but we have a corporate pilot with a dog.
Ah, do we?
Mm-hmm. Can't tell you what his name is, but
but he
probably
exists.
The dog's name. I worked really hard.
And the other volunteer is Joanna, and she's actually a prior work friend of Hannah's. Hannah used to work with her. Hannah retired, and this woman's also thinking about retiring. And she ran into Hannah at a doctor's office. And so Hannah was telling her all about what she was doing now that she's retired. And part of that conversation was her volunteering here. So Joanna just showed up one Sunday and said, I'd like to volunteer. And so Pam calls me at home. I just left the farm and I was starving. I just left the farm, went home, had 2 bites of food in my mouth. The phone rings, it's Pam, and she says, there's a volunteer here. Are you still here? And I said, no, but I'll be there in 10 minutes. So I just jumped in my car and gave her a tour. And actually, it was funny. It was when we first got Maybe, and we had her gated off on the, to create the smaller stall just for her. And Carlene had come down while I was just getting there and said, open it all up. And I was like, okay. So I was like, Joanna, do you mind helping me? So actually, on the day that she was getting a tour and trying to decide if she wanted to volunteer, I put her to work. But she did very willingly help me. And so she's an IT person, and she's thinking of retiring in the next couple years, but she has a very flexible sort of schedule. So she's doing Friday mornings before she goes to work. And I think once she gets comfortable, she's looking to take on more time, which is great. I've been doing every other Saturdays. I think Heather is going to do every other Saturdays, but she already has an event for one of her Saturdays coming up. So I told her, if you want to do a Sunday, or if you just want to simply show up while I'm here, whenever you want to come in, because she's only off Saturday, Sundays. And they're both very, very lovely, very nice people, and I'm thrilled that they showed up, because we really have had a need. Now, Hannah's been doing Thursdays. I don't think she wants to do that forever, and so hopefully we'll be able to find somebody to cover Thursdays. I have some Thursdays off. Hold on. Telephone. And so Hannah doesn't want to do it permanently. And then I've got some Thursdays off, but like tomorrow is my day to get the oil changed in my car and my wheels rotated. And tomorrow I've got like a laundry list of things I have to do. Will I probably still come by the farm? I pretty much do every day that I'm off. I came by yesterday and Lee was like, you weren't there in the morning, Hannah was. And I was like, yeah, but I came in the afternoon, I bought a new hose, installed that, and filled the water buckets, and got a little love in, and then left. So even when I'm not here on a shift, I often stop by. It's my thing. Do not litter in a poop pile. Thought for the afternoon. It's a good thought. I agree. I try not to poop anywhere near the barn, or put litter in the barn. Muckety muck muck muck, wink and giggles. Bag balm on Mo's dry nose. What I'm doing is incredibly innocuous, and it is the treatment for every skin condition known to the equine world. I'm putting Listerine on her face. She doesn't like it, but I've been doing it. It's getting a little bit more widespread, and I see her scratching at it. But I've been putting Listerine, and I don't know that we want to keep it moist. We probably want it to scab over and heal, because where she's rubbing is getting some scab. So I'm going to try the Listerine. If that doesn't work, maybe we'll move on to the next thing. Okay. Molly asked if the problem is that she's rubbing. Well, I think she's rubbing because it's itchy. And she's exasperating the problem by rubbing her hair off, but she's got a condition, it's itchy, she's rubbing it, the skin's coming off, it's scabbing, and I'm just going to keep Listerining it and see what happens. Who is the star of the day? Well, Blue Penguin. I'm in a bit of a quandary because Terrence is winning my heart in the biggest way. Terrence has always been sweet, but now when I go out and have my little love sessions out in the paddock, over by the feed trough, I try to do it every time I'm here, even though it was 16 degrees today and I was in 500 layers. I was like, I have to go spend some time with the kids. So had a little Flossie time, and then Terrence and Clover see that I'm giving some affection, so they came over. Terrence will lay his entire weight of his head on my shoulder, on my arm, on my lap, and then he makes these tiny little groany noises like the Great Danes do in here. And she's so sweet, and she falls asleep on me. And it just is so sweet. Now Clover did it today too. She rested her head on me, she fell asleep. And I just kept petting them. So Terrence is really winning my heart. So Terrence, you can be the star of the day. How about that? Tracy, is the new barn floor solid cement or just compacted stone dust? It's compacted stone dust. So the good thing about that is all the little areas that needed tweaking, where there was too much stone dust and the barn doors wouldn't work, at least we could dig it out. It was challenging because they compacted it really, really, really well. But it definitely is. It's better than cement because it irrigates, water can flow through it. Cement is not great for a floor surface in the barn, apparently. Everything that I've read, you'll end up with a lot of bacteria, and then they end up with infections, usually respiratory or sinus infections, if there's too much urine pooling anywhere. Does maybe look like she could possibly be pregnant? Well, it's hard to say. She maybe. I'm just going to say maybe. I don't know. I want her to be, but me willing her to be pregnant isn't happening. I know that's... I don't think... It's funny when I see... Okay, I'm sorry. Scooter Karen. Hi, Karen. I love her. She's the best. Janine was asking if anyone thought maybe was any bigger. Well, here's my answer. No, I don't think she looks any bigger. When I get home on camera, I think she looks bigger. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I haven't been here for a couple days, I still check in on them. Even when I'm flying, I still check my phone when I can to get my little video of my kids, of the herd, because I love them. And so every once in a while, or I'll get home from work and I'll boot my computer up and take a quick peek just to see how everybody's doing. And I'll see like an angle of maybe where she looks bigger. And then I come in the next day and she looks the same. It's hard to say. I really want her to be pregnant. I want her to be. Yeah, the hair loss on Mo's nose. I don't know. How is maybe doing? Well, Cammie, Kathy, hi. Hi, Kathy. I have to thank you, Kathy, for the rope halters. I haven't had a chance to try them yet because I can't really take Flossie out because it's too slippery and too gross. So I haven't been doing any training at all in the last probably 2 weeks, with the floor and then with all the things that were happening. So I can't wait to try them. I'm excited to try them. I haven't though, but thank you for the rope halters. But so she asks, how is maybe doing? Is she sure is getting more comfortable with you? Great job. But I still can't really touch her. I have touched her a couple of times, and as soon as she realizes what I'm doing, she has a tendency to move away from me. But if you watched this morning, I don't put the bucket up and leave her with it. I fill the rubber feed bucket. I put it in, hi, how are you guys? Good. I put it in the middle of the floor, and then usually I was like scrunching down next to it, but I'm old, so my knees hurt. So I actually plopped a black bucket right next to it. And I just sat there with my feet touching, my toes touching it. And she wanted the grain enough to where she came in. Hi, Bentley. And, oh, you're stepping on my foot. Ow. And she would look at me, and I would talk to her, and I even sang a little song to her this morning. I don't know if she enjoyed it, but I did it anyway. And I just sit there and I just, talk to her and stare at her. And if I move, she has a tendency to, kind of back away and come back around, which is fine. She knows I'm the purveyor of food. When I came here yesterday, I digress. When I came here yesterday to bring the hose that I bought, she saw me and immediately wanted grain because she associates me with grain. So that's a good thing. She associates me with a positive thing, food. So if that's my in, I'll take it. So I'll keep working on her. And I don't want to overwhelm her. I don't want to force myself on her. I'm just going to try and be patient as I possibly can be, and just let her get used to me being near her. What's happening? Let's see if there's any more questions, you guys. I'm going to pan up. Hi. What do you want to tell them? Come here. Tell them about the donkeys. What do you know? Nothing? Nothing. Okay, new comments. The camera adds 10 pounds. Ouch. No, I need to lose 20 pounds. Somebody asked about the eye again. She's doing fine. But we'll know better tomorrow. It looks fine now. We kind of cleaned it up. Just a thought wondering as to more could, like Cordaid, cortisone cream, rashes, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me just say this. I asked Carlene about it, and she said chances are it's a condition that'll remedy itself, and you really don't need to do anything. And so I just took the innocuous approach and used Listerine. I didn't want to start using steroids or anything, and especially without Carlene's blessing. So when Carlene determines that we want to use something else on it, I'll be glad to put it on there. Molly asked if the stone dust will last longer than the sand did. Yes, it will, because of the mats. The mats are just great. I love that picture, Rob. Do you guys see the picture Rob posted? Yeah, I've got that picture actually on my Facebook as my little wallpaper, and I love it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I really, no, Listerine will not burn her skin. Listerine, if you look up any equine skin condition, that's the one they tell you to put on it. I used it for something else on her. It's fine. Listerine will not burn her skin. She just smells minty fresh. I can't really address the skin condition anymore simply because I don't know what it is. I've turned over what information I had to Carlene, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Oh yeah, Tina, I do. I stop by all the time. I can't help it. I miss my kids.
They're attacking boys, they're attacking each other,
Oh, okay. The pilot you're referring to, Time Traveler Judy's hubby, Pooh. I will try to remember that. And where does he live? Is he a local Mass guy, or does he live somewhere else, if you know?
I was like, she's like, I thought about a half hour later, they said it wasn't that bad. I sent her the video, she's like, oh my god. I was like, yeah.
I didn't put stone dust in the manure pile. Jane Sladen, does Carly know you put stone dust in the manure pile? I don't put stone dust in the manure pile. So I don't understand your question. Why would I put stone dust in? I don't understand. Was there a tick in Mo's ear? Not that I'm aware of.
That means I have to go buy them. So I think I'm gonna take some.
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Okay, Rob in New Jersey. Which exit, Rob? How to tell when a donkey is pregnant. Judging by Crazy Acres, just wait 40 to 50 months. Ba-dum, boom. Love it. That's very funny. Okay, I'm going to see if there's any more questions. Oh, I'm going long today. Wilbur's dad, Tracy. Is that the guy who... Karen, are you talking about the pilot? Wilbur's dad? Oh, I misunderstood. The camera adds 10 pounds to maybe. You know, it's funny. I do see, I have to tell you, I'll go home sometimes. I've had like a particularly cute little love session and I want to go home and see it. I feel lame admitting that, but I do. I want to go home and see my little interaction with them because it's so sweet and I love them so much. And when it's such a like an intimate little moment that I'm having, you know, with these warm little critters that I just adore. And so I'll go home to see if anybody took any pictures because I always love to save the pictures that I get from those moments. And so I'll go home and look and I'm like, oh my gosh, my legs look like tree trunks. I always feel like I look so heavy. And then I go home and I look in my full-length mirror and I'm like, oh, I'm perfect. No, I'm not. Oh, but you are, Bentley. Oh, that's not Bentley, that's you. Oh, yeah, that's a good tongue out picture. Let's see if there's any more questions. Oops, I'm panning the wrong way. Hello. As to the Listerine Minty Fresh, get the orange one so she smells her colorings. As to Judy's husband, yes, they are local. She does the assisted living facility stuff there often. Oh, he's a commercial pilot. Right, he works for the same company I work for. He works for Delta Airlines. I knew about him, but she was talking about somebody who... Oh, I can't remember. She's talking about somebody else who does, who has his own plane. Oh, I'm sorry, Jane. Sand, yes. Well, we do put sand in the pile, but it's not discernible sand. I mean, it was, how many tons did she say it was? Of sand over a course of a year. So divide that by 12 months, let's say it was 2,400 pounds. So that's 200 pounds of sand a month. So close to 7 pounds of sand a day we'd be removing. We're doing the math on how much sand we removed from there and how she was like, does Carlene know that you put sand in her muck pile or in her muck pile? And it's like, well, we didn't have a choice.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so
ordinarily that would be fine in the manure pile because then it kind of cuts the manure and you've got a nice, beautiful topsoil.
Yeah, and it's great for hydrangeas.
It's the lack of shit that's the problem. The rest will behave itself. But the lack of shit, there is no substitute for shit, as far as I know.
Yeah, and people like to talk about Mo getting Sprite and how much she loves it. I refuse to give it to her. I think it's a ridiculous thing that people do.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it.
No, it's not good for her.
Hot summer day or something.
It's not good for her, but I don't know why people do it. Oh, Karen, I will give Flossie a kiss from you. I promise. And the challenges that be, I must go. But thank you guys for your support and taking last week off to kind of regroup, rethink, retool, get my mind right. I'm not here to misinform you. I don't want to misinform you. It's the last thing I would ever do. I speculate, and maybe I should constantly say, this is my speculation. This is what I think might be. But you know that I've been here less than a year. Everything I've learned in that time frame has been hands-on in what I've read in a book. Oh, thank you, Mara. I do love those kids. I will keep the Bray going. And I absolutely do adore the donkeys. I'm committed to this until they tell me to go home and not come back anymore. So here I am. And I love the support you guys give me, and in the encouragement and the sheer desire that you want me to keep coming back and doing the Bray, and of course showing up and taking care of the kids. But I'm going to sign off because this was a really long Bray. Thank you so much, you guys. Kisses to you all, and stay warm, stay dry, and I will see you on the cameras.